When it comes to learning a language, do you ever struggle with listening? If so, let me start by saying you are not alone. This is the main difficulty of 99% of people who try to learn a new language. And that's exactly why all of us tend to look for that magic button that will allow us to slow down the audio, to try to understand it. But is slow audio the best way to improve your listening skills and overall understanding? Keep watching and let's find out. Those of us who learn Spanish sometimes face challenges like this.
Todas las personas que han visto esta película, y además casi todas las personas con esta película tienen una relación muy especial, porque o se la ponen cuando están tristes, o la han visto 50.000 veces, o la veían con, con sus familiares cuando eran pequeños.
I mean, really? But even if you learn other languages, I'm sure you face something similar. I'm Lizzie, and today we're going to look at whether, as tempting as it can be, slowing down the audio is a good or bad move for language learners. Let's quickly go over why listening can be such a tough part of language learning. We mentioned the speed of the audio, but is this the real problem? If you take an audio which is aimed at or made for language learners, this is usually much easier to understand. Why? Well, firstly, the speakers sometimes speak more slowly, but usually they just speak more clearly. They have a more neutral accent. They pronounce all of the words and letters fully. How I speak when I teach my students who are English learners is different to how I speak when I'm with my friends and family. I do this, and particularly with beginners, because I want my students to be able to understand me. Just to give you an example so you can see the difference, take a look at this sentence. If I were to say this to my students, I would say it like, I'm going to go to the shop to buy some butter. I pronounce all of the words and letters clearly. But if I were saying this to a friend or a family member, I would say it more like, I'm going to go to the shop to buy some butter. Did you hear the difference? I didn't necessarily speed up. I just didn't pronounce all of the words and letters as clearly as I did before. Also, native speakers often use slang and idioms, and if you haven't heard these before, it can be difficult to understand what the person is saying, and you can very quickly become confused. So, you can see what I'm saying here. Where you find your listening material is an important factor. If you're a beginner, listening to audio resources aimed at language learners will help you to build basic vocabulary and get your ears tuned to the language you're learning. Two major stepping stones in this process. But once you move to a higher level in the language you're learning, it's important to listen to a variety of materials, getting used to different accents and audio speeds, and helping to get you to the point where you can understand people in real life. The thing is, many learners find the transition between slow and fast very challenging. That's exactly why we created Mosa Series, a captivating story presented as a series designed to specifically help you improve your listening skills. The difficulty increases gradually, so you can get used to faster speech without losing interest or motivation. You should definitely give it a try. You'll be able to follow faster audio in no time. So wait, does that mean that we can't listen to slowed down audio? Let's weigh up the good and bad. First, let's take a look at why slow audio might be good. Listening to slow audio can be beneficial for language learning, especially for beginners and learners who are still working on their listening skills. Slower audio helps learners to hear the different words and phrases, making it easier to understand the content. If learners listen to slower audio, they have more time to analyze the language and get more from it. They can concentrate on vocabulary, sentence structure, and grammar, rather than missing chunks of this because the audio is too fast. Slow audio also allows language learners to take in the pronunciation and individual sounds of the language more clearly. This is particularly useful for languages with challenging sounds that may not even exist in the learner's native language. Listening to a language you are learning at a fast pace can be overwhelming for beginners or someone who's developing their listening skills. The option to slow down the audio allows learners to process the language at a more manageable pace, reducing frustration and anxiety. It's easy to give up if you feel overwhelmed, so this point is very important. Also, listening to slow audio helps learners to train their ears and get used to the rhythm and intonation of the language. Once they become more comfortable with the language, learners can gradually increase the speed of the audio and then ultimately find it easier to understand native speakers. Now, let's look at some reasons why slow audio might not be a good choice for language learners. If you rely on slow audio too much, it might make it difficult to understand native speakers who don't always speak slowly in real-life conversations. Listening to only slow audio could slow down the progress of your listening skills and understanding skills. This may prevent you from achieving fluency if that's your goal. In real-life situations, people speak at a normal speed, so you need to be exposed to different speeds to get used to this. Whether your goal is to watch and understand films without subtitles, listen to your favorite podcasts, or communicate with native speakers, it's important to get used to audio at a normal speed. The final verdict? The best approach most likely involves a combination of both slowed down audio and audio at a natural speed. Slow audio can be helpful at early stages of language learning, while learners are getting used to the language. And then, as learners become more comfortable with the language, they can and should, bit by bit, move to listening to audio at a natural pace. This helps learners get used to the speed of actual conversations. Remember that regardless of the audio speed, repetition and regular practice are key to improving language skills, and this includes listening skills. Happy listening and good luck!
If you learned something new from this video, give it a thumbs up. Then, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Have a look around our channel for more hacks and tips. And if you're watching on another social media platform, like or follow our page. See you next time.